Hello there, how's your day? I'm Mega Kita des. Alright, so apparently in Japan, around 500 red melon, also known as the orange fresh melon, have been stolen from a greenhouse in Hokuta City, Ibaraki Prefecture, and they know that this is apparently the third case of melon theft in that area, which is also well known for the Japan most leading melon growing area. Also, the 500 red melon apparently is also valued at around 350,000 yen, which is equivalent to around in USD of nearly over $2,000, and which means that one melon costs around $4 or $5 around that. All right, I know most of the people don't watch way beyond this point, so thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye. Hey, this random chat, guys. I mean, like, it doesn't make sense if I make a video that just that kind of like drop everything here and then go and do my whatever thing, or I mean like play games along the line. But the thing is, right, you guys understand, obviously when I do look at this kind of case, I would understand that hey, there is 500 melon that have been stolen and this is the third case. Obviously I will go and take a look at the previous case, and lo and behold, right before, like in April, apparently 600 melon in the same area was stolen. So this apparently that this obviously there's another case that happened way before this again, but if you count the amount of melon stolen, it's like, wow, 500 and 600, that's a high number. What the hell can able to take that much melon in one go? So the thing is, right, when I take a look at this situation, obviously that I have to do more research. I have to understand the whole thing. Doesn't mean that do I know who's the culprit? No, but it's because when I take a look at this scenario, when I go and understand from the like perspective or a lot of things, or understanding more of them, even to the point of trying to take a look at some of the Japanese source. Yes, I do read Japanese, I have learned Japanese, I stay in Japan for 6 years, so I understand that often more than not, where is the source to look up for, and understanding like things that I might be missing out, because sometimes English version doesn't really tell the full story. But when you take a look at a lost scenario, when you go and take a look at and have a better understanding of the whole, like when you trying to like take a shovel and dig for a hole, and you realize that it's a rabbit hole, and when you jump into the rabbit hole, and you'll be like, I've been scratching the surface all along, and it's really kind of make me really in time that I know you guys have to bear with me while saying this. I mean, like the last time I did something like this, like looking at a surface article and go and take a look and dig all the further in all the way, right? Like the last time I did like and understanding the full story, but again, you have to understand, you guys can take the whole article about this with a huge pencil sword and throw the sword at the screen if you need to, but hey, they three of me on the screen at one go, so what? Maybe you want to throw 3 swords at me right now? Okay, so the thing is, right, the last time I did a case on like 4 Japan crime that broke my heart, but at the same time, all similar cases, but at the same time, it really kind of like, I have to put a lot of like my speculation on this, and it's really kind of like made me really wonder, like, is this case really just only what we might be thinking? Is just someone stole a melon? No, it's that it may lead to, and sadly may lead to an issue that have been called that I actually did a video just before this, which is yesterday. But if you guys want to know, the link is in the description below for this video, about issue of foreigner causing problem in Japan. The thing is, right, when I was reading through and doing my research, I realized that I may have another case, another reason why foreigner may be getting hated in Japan, and that is the melon theft. Well, the thing is, right, you guys might be wondering, hey, what does foreigner and melon theft have to do with each other? Well, the thing is, right, the more I do a research on melon theft or burger or robbery along the line, it actually tells a higher and deeper story that we may be overlooking ever since. And it's really something that when I look at more and more research news article, so you guys have to understand that despite me saying that you can take it with a pencil sword and throw the sword at the screen if you need to, what I'm going to provide with you is source that has been recorded, proven, as well as that is documented by the police, as well as that it is an actual case. So even with that, you guys have to understand that I will also kind of like give you that this is just maybe a little bit of cherry picking. You may say it that way, but when there is actual fact kind of proving that point, it is not it's like hard for me to not understand from the Japanese point of view because of the way all these cases appear. And it's really one of the reasons why sometimes when you think about the whole story, right, why is there a hatred for foreigner in Japan? It's not really like just because of the news and YouTuber. This may be one of the reasons why when this kind of new article appearing all over in the internet, maybe just maybe people will be like, hey, there may be actual fact to or maybe actual truth to the story, the hatred along the line. So if you guys are not ready for this kind of story, I really advise you guys to stop. But again, sometimes the truth does hurt a little bit. But again, don't worry, I will not try to pick most of my source, because if I can provide you guys with a lot of source, do understand that I will also kind of give a little bit of counterbalance in my view to ensure that everyone have a fair share. So there will be a balance. Don't worry too much. This is a random chat. So again, let's step into the whole story. So again, like I mentioned along the line that why do foreigners get the hatred first? Well, the thing is, right, back in 2020, not too far long ago, it happened right during the COVID period of time, and that this is an actual story that people do talk about, and there is actually proof on it. So it's actually kind of interesting that when Sora News actually wrote this article at the time, I remember this article at that time because it really one of the reasons why I noticed that there was like a lot of people like a lot of foreigners got kicked out of Japan like during that period, and a lot of people who know very well about the COVID period. So obviously when you have a lot of people get deported, there will also be people coming in. But the reason why at the time people can't get into Japan was because Japan during the COVID period was shut down. It really was shut down. They don't allow people to get out or people to come in, except for people who got deported. So that is a different story. And obviously there was a case, if anyone will still remember, that in Japan there was a moment when they claimed that there was a group, like the foreigner was decreasing at that point. What a lot of people tend to not realize that during that moment of small time period is that a lot of people was kicked out of Japan, literally got kicked out because of the things they do, and most of them are foreigners, yes. But what did they did? Well, the thing is, right, it is something that happened in Japan, which basically foreigner got blamed for livestock theft. And I'm not kidding. People in Japan that is foreigner apparently go and stole pig, cow, or even watermelon, melon, or tomato. Mayo, tomato. I don't even know. But the thing is, right, at the end of the day, when you have like stuff that is like normal stuff and people go and steal all these thing along the line, it's really made me wonder, like, what were they thinking? More so that the Ministry of Horticulture, Forestry and Fishery actually did a very controversy tweet. It is still there, but it was something along the line that it's actually basically in Japan that they are farmers are actually suffering from theft or livestock along the line, and that one got quite a lot of people wondering, like, what the hell had happened. So apparently, like in Ibaraki, as you mentioned, is well known for their melon growing. Saitama and Gunma is also well known for livestock, which is basically like pigs, cow, and chicken along the line. And apparently, like, someone managed to take 6 cow as well as 132 pig or piglet or whatever they call it. But it's really like, it's like, again, this is like, as highlighted, is extremely unusual. Like, no one will go with their right mind to go to a farm, take the watermelon or take the pig or take the cow or take the chicken along the line and just say, hey, we're gonna steal it. When you think about the whole scenario, it's really kind of like made me really wonder, like, what were they thinking? Is it really just a normal theft? The thing is, right, that's kind of get me wondering, like, is it a normal thing to be like it's happening in Japan? Apparently no. It has, like, a lot of people always have the mentality that in Japan, even if you close your door, if you close your door but not lock it, no one will come to your room whatsoever. But then again, there will always be that 1 or 2 in a million cases that will there will be a robbery or a burglar or a raper along the line, and it will always happen that one in that million amount. And considering that there's 1 million, over 1 million people in Japan, so yeah, don't need to explain more. So when you look at the city, obviously 1 or 2 is not a lot, but the thing is, right, when it's happening in one of the growing area or farming area in Japan, where people just still pick cow, chicken, or even watermelon or melon, it really brought me to wondering, like, what were they thinking? Because the thing is, right, when you look at the whole story, that some people will some of them will say that the theft just trying to steal them to maybe do a resell. Maybe some people just want to steal them for self consumption along the line. Maybe yes, maybe I don't know. But the thing is, right, when you look at the whole story, is it as per what you might think? Well, the thing is, right, what got that tweet even more blown out was that there was a person, an actor and musician by the name of Takeshi Tsuruno-san, which actually have relative in the farming industry, and he actually posted this along the line that they actually managed to caught people, and they actually say Nihongo wakarimasen, which means I don't understand Japanese. So when they caught them, they got off. They just really got off. Like they caught red-handed, and then they never called the police to catch them. Instead, they were let off. So it's really kind of like made him really wonder, like, is it a Japanese non-Japanese thing? And that alone got him bashed for it. Like, is he being a racist along the line, or is he trying to blame foreigner? Thing is, right, what a lot of people did not realize, that even within Japanese community or culture, is that, again, you have to understand, it proved that in Japan, is it really a thing about people hating on foreigner along the line? It tells a lot of story. A simple casual, like, Japanese people are mad for this person to be saying negative thing about foreigner, because the thing is, right, it does not mean every single one. I mean, like, sure, there will be having some foreigner who is doing this kind of thing, but the thing is, right, when you have a lot of cases happening in that area, you have to understand, is it truly and really a foreigner thing or not? Obviously there will be a case that I will talk about, that it may not just be a foreigner thing, it can be a local theft, a local Japanese people stealing melon along the line. But when you look at the whole story, it really got a debate where, like, is it truly a foreigner thing? So obviously when you think of the whole story, when there is like, it got so blown out at the time. Yes, I was aware of that blown out, because that was the blown out was the one that got me to look into this story at the time. But it's really one of the things that I kind of like recall the case, leave it, and I mean, like, when it was one of the things that when people ask me, like, why do foreigner people get hated in Japan? Obviously I would say that the bad behavior. I would just only highlight that bad behavior by foreigner got the hate in Japan, like causing disruption or causing problem in Japan. But at this point of time, I think with the case show for this random chat topic, I think it's fair for me to kind of highlight that short-living theft or taking without permission along the line may be considered one of the reasons why there are some Japanese people are kind of like having a bit of hatred towards foreigner. And I think it's understandable, because when I'm going to show you from now on, it's really actual cases, and it's really kind of like got me like, what the hell is happening? So you guys will be hearing me that apparently that this country, that Vietnam apparently is the country with the most who love to come to Japan to steal stuff, apparently. So you guys will be hearing a lot of cases from Vietnam, and I will have a proof about it, so you guys bear with it. If you're from Vietnam, blame on your countrymen for causing this kind of issue to have Vietnam to have a bad reputation. I mean, like, you can't blame it when the news is up there. So apparently, says Vietnam man was stealing unripe melon, and they got caught. So when the police caught them, it's kind of in time to, like, what the heck were they thinking along the line, is that when they admit to it, they actually intend to eat the melon, while one trying to deny, I was just following the order, I had no idea along the line. So it really kind of like prove a lot of story, because the thing is, right, it's not the first case of Vietnam's trying to steal melon along the line. I mean, like they say that there is already like 6 Vietnam men already, but when you kind of look at other story along the line, there is foreign people coming to Japan to short live. And I mean, like, I'm not trying to say like Uniqlo in. I mean, like, for people, I mean, like, hey, ring of foreign tab, maybe we can just say it's just from any other country, right? For a group of 4 Vietnamese nationalists. You know, the thing is, right, I do have to give credit to the Vietnamese for some of their nice, delicious cuisine. But when you have people like this destroying the reputation of Vietnam, I don't think it's wrong for me to highlight that there are maybe Vietnam people are really have a lot of death within their country. I mean, like, if they can go to overseas just to steal clothes, to steal watermelon, to steal melon, to steal piglet along the line. I mean, like, the more I read into the whole story, the more I feel like, what the heck am I even thinking? I mean, like, what were they trying to make me think along the line? So the thing is, right, it's really kind of like make it even worse, is that because there is also Vietnamese food store and restaurant, a Vietnam person called the store offering to sell them a piglet. Like, seriously, what? So it's really kind of like proof to show that Vietnam people are clever enough to go and steal from other people and then resell it. It's already enough proof to say that there is people who is willing to do so. But does that mean that all the theft are that? Like, does that mean that, oh, hey, we just need to catch some Vietnam people and blame them for the 500 million? No. Instead, what you guys have to understand, that what Japan are being honest and fair enough is that what they are not looking is for those people that is doing the chore. The one that is doing it may not be aware what they are doing is wrong. They may be just following order. They may be kind of like poor. And when you look at the whole story, there are times when I hear from actual Vietnam record, which I actually do not want to showcase the story because it is in Reddit, and for safety reason, I will just say the story here. So take it with a pinch of salt and understand that there are some Vietnamese people who only follow order without realizing what they did is wrong, and that they are only listening to the so-called the leader of everything. But the thing is, right, and one of the reasons why it kind of like prove everything is that one deny any involvement is really show a lot of story. The reason why some people don't like trying to deny that they were part of it is that if you think about it, maybe some of them are technically being forced to involve in the heist, but not realizing that they were involved in something that is illegal. Obviously, in Japan, once you did anything illegal, or once you get caught for something, your license, or I mean, like, your visa, no matter what's the status, is gonna be suspended and terminated, and you'll be deported immediately. So obviously, to some people, they will try to deny it, but at the same time, when you look at the whole story, it really does show a lot of things. And more so that it is not uncommon for some people to overstay beyond their visa. There is already like cases of people being like, I still remember it happened during the COVID period, where a lot of nationalists doesn't mean Vietnamese. There are some Thai people, there is some Indian people, there is like basically a lot of people beyond who stay beyond their actual allowed stay, and they kind of like just got caught and immediately get deported. Like it happened all during the COVID period, because the thing is, right, a lot of people got laid off during that time, and obviously a lot of people can't get a job, so they can so what they do is just basically look for part-time work, temporary along the line, and or maybe some of them will just lie about their stay along the line, or the visa they hold along the line, and they just get a job despite not being allowed to, and when they got found out, they just got sent off. So the thing is, right, does that mean that a lot of people don't like them along the line? It's kind of like interesting that if I tell you guys that some Japanese people are understanding of their overstaying and choose not to report on them, but of course there is also some people who are not very happy about them and snitch on them along the line. So it does show a lot of like it does show a lot. There are kind people who are forgiving towards foreigner, and it's also do say that hey, maybe foreigner are not that hated in Japan all along. Which is true, but it's just that when you have cases about this, about people going around stealing, I mean, like we have to really tell those kind of people to stop doing this kind of thing, because what they are doing, they are kind of like ruining the right of the farmer who took their time and effort to grow those melon, grow those chicken, grow those all those livestock along the line. And what those people don't realize that when you steal from them, you are actually causing the price rise. The price of those things will rise to ridiculous price, and we will talk about that in a while. But the thing is, right, when you look at more case about foreigner people trying to steal stuff, like it's already a standard case about people stealing. And when they steal, right, it's not like, oh, it's just only one clothes, oh, it's just only one chicken along the line. When they steal, it can cost a lot of money. And and when you look at the amount, right, it's the theft loss estimated to reach around 20 million yen, which is around $135,000, and that is not a small sum of money. It just, and when you ask them what they do with the clothes, they just basically bring it back to their country, sell it, and get the money. So obviously, when you look at the whole picture, right, is it really a good thing? No. Because the thing is, right, what a lot of people need to understand that this one doesn't need to go through the black market. They can just buy the clothes, go and sell it as per normal. Or let's say from in like melon cases, they can just eat half of it and then sell to some people or give to other people along the line, and they won't get caught because melon can be eaten. And if you're saying like piglet, chicken, cow, yep, they can eat it. And it's not uncommon in Vietnam to eat a whole pig, where they just basically kill the pig, poke the pig, roast the whole pig, and you got a roasted pig. So it's not uncommon. Again, it is really something that and at the end of the day, when you think that will they get caught when it's all in their belly, can we prove that whatever they eat is the one that is stolen? No. It's really, really hard too. So it's the reason why a lot of cases, police are trying to ask the farmer to install security camera, sensor light, sensor along the line, and it kind of like has been a thing in most of the thing. And even like in the Japanese article, they are like the police are trying their best to prevent this kind of thing from happening, because overall, if 2022 that we have a case of 2,194 cases of theft, yeah, we can't really deny that there is a lot of theft in Japan. But again, does that mean that all are like intensity along the line? Like, is it really non-Japanese people doing all those theft? Is that really one of the reasons why foreigners hate Japanese along the line? No. It's just that when a lot of news, and again, it's not really cherry picking on my end, it's more like cherry picking by the media. And again, if you think about it, right, when the foreign, like if you think as a foreigner, or maybe let's say for example, let's think as a Japanese first. Let's say for example, if you're living in Japan or if you're a Japanese and you've been looking at news article about cases about theft, let's say foreign people steal clothes in Uniqlo, they are foreigner come to Japan to steal watermelon, or maybe foreigner steal some chicken to eat. Yeah, when you hear like every time the foreigner steal, people are going to just link out foreigner steal, foreigner theft, foreigner burger, foreigner robber, foreigner bad people. And that's gonna be a very bad thing, because what they're technically doing is kind of like not just cherry picking, but actually planting small little seed into people's mindset that hey, a lot of foreigners are the bad guys. And obviously there will be those who doesn't like some people who doesn't meet a nice foreigner, or maybe some people doesn't have a good impression of foreigner along the line. The hatred will grow. It is like I mentioned, the reason if they plan it carefully, it will grow into a very strong hatred, and it's not going to be a very nice thing. And again, like I mentioned, when I say that if the Japanese people have not met a nice foreigner, that would be the worst. Because let's say, for example, if they meet a foreigner who is, well, let's say for example like Johnny Somali or Logan Paul along the line, and they create trouble in Japan, obviously people in Japan is going to like, okay, all foreigners are nuisance, all foreigners are bad guy along the line. That's going to be a problem. So it's the reason why when PewDiePie talk about Nojestic people or YouTuber or streamer coming to Japan to run it, I don't think it's just only that. I did kind of like highlight that there are many other reasons, but I personally kind of like didn't realize that this may be one of the reasons. Because the thing is, right, when you have TEF and foreigner linking out together, I won't be surprised if Japanese people start hating or maybe linking that, there's a foreigner coming to my shop, I have to be more vigilant, I have to be more alert. But again, does that mean that all foreigners are theft? I had talked about a lot of theft that is caused by Japanese. And more so that I'm going to tell you guys that apparently 700 watermelon was stolen. But does that mean that, is it really like foreigner or is it the Vietnam people doing along the line? Apparently, there is a case in 2018, Yakuza, or more like financially troubled Yakuza, trying to steal watermelon. And I was actually aware of this case because it happened in 2018 and I was in Japan at that time. Yes, indeed I was. But it really was one of the cases that actually got a lot of Japanese to talk about it at the time, that it was considered a laughing stock. It was considered one of the laughing stock, and it actually got me to do a little bit of check out on Yakuza at that time to see how bad was Yakuza have fallen throughout the years. And it really count. I mean, maybe I will put up that as a random check in future if I do feel in time to do more research on that. But when I mean I really did research once, so I kind of like don't really like to do research again on it, if you guys can forgive me for that. But the thing is, right, this is an actual case that apparently some Yakuza really are having financial difficulty, and what they did was that they decided to take watermelon in from farm. So you guys have to understand that watermelon is not uncommon for watermelon to be considered one of the larger, because the thing is that in Japan fruit is considered larger, which I'll talk more in a while about the price. But it's more so that they are trying to take quite a lot of it, and when they steal it, they were like, hey, maybe it's considered too much, so they were like, next time we should be targeting melon and tomato. Yes, indeed. They say tomato. Which the reason why earlier when I say tomato is really one of the things that sometimes when you look at the whole story, it's like, what the heck? Why would you want to steal tomato? It's very soft, it's very squishy. How are you gonna take care of it? So when you look at the whole situation, right, it does not mean that, hey, if all foreigners are the one doing it, there are local Japanese people doing it. So it's like we can't be sure who are the one who steal the 500 melon or 600 melon along the line. But when you have a lot of people having kind of like the mindset, if you go to Japan and if you ask them, who do you think is the one? Do you think it's foreigner or local people? With news like this going around saying like foreigner are to blame, I wouldn't be surprised if they think that it's the Vietnam people or maybe China people or whatever country people going around stealing melon. And there are articles proving that there is cases before where Vietnam people trying to steal melon. They have a case. So when you have a case, obviously in people's mindset will be like, hey, it's a proven case. They will think that, hey, maybe we'll go. They will think about it. And you think that this is only the only case. Again, I know some people are saying like, oh, Uniqlo and melon is just only 2 cases. In fact, what you guys have to understand, back in 2022, 3,400 Vietnam people were charged with crime in Japan. It is an actual article that is dated in 2023, and when you look at the amount, it's really like, the reason why it's really crazy is that out of 9,000 plus, 3,000 plus is Vietnam. That's around 30%. Like that is way more than 30% of people who is stealing. That's around like more than 1/3 of the whole crime for foreigner. So obviously, when you look at the whole story, they will be like, what do they come to Japan for? Still watermelon, apparently, or even still crow or whatsoever. Thing is, right? They are not coming to Japan to actually work, but to steal. And obviously, people are not very happy. Obviously, there will be some hatred towards foreigner because if you go to Japan just to steal, obviously people are going to be mad. More so is that the increase is really alarming in a way. It's because 9 years back in 2000, maybe more like 11 years back basically back in 2013, the number of people charged was still around the same, nearing a 10,000 amount for foreigner, but only 1,000 plus was Vietnamese. So in around over 10 years time, if the number had grown to 3,000, it tripled the amount, more than tripled the amount. It tells it is enough to prove that, hey, maybe a lot of Vietnamese are really coming to Japan to steal. And if you think of, like, obviously to us, we say, oh, Vietnamese is to be the one to be blamed. But the thing is, right, do the Japanese care? No. It's not whether they don't care about whatsoever. It's more towards that they actually do not care which country you're from. If you're not Japanese, just like how the American people love to say, you're not black, you're not white or whatsoever, you are racist along the line. So if you think about it, right, when you have Japanese thing, as long as you are not a pure Japanese, you are the theft along the line. And basically you mean that 外国人 or whatsoever, then it means that that's the case. They will, I mean, like, yes, when you look at the whole, like, the case of overall crime in Japan, majority definitely will be Japanese people. But when you look at like statistic number, 9,000 plus of crime are caused for a foreigner. Obviously, people are like saying like, hey, that's around 10% of the foreigner along the line, maybe, or maybe 1% along the line, maybe. But when you look at the number of people in Japan, and there is it's not a small number. I mean, like, if you say like 1,000, 2,000, maybe okay, fine, I can guess maybe a small amount. But we have like nearing a 10,000 people creating trouble. Obviously, Japanese people are like saying like maybe foreigners are not as nice or maybe as safe as we might think, and that will cause a lot of people to have bad impression of foreigner. So obviously, when we look at the whole picture, it is gonna be something that we have to be very careful. And this is one of the things that sometimes is those kind of rotten, like, if anyone will know me well, I always say that it's always the rotten egg that is creating trouble. And I really meant that, because the thing is, right, if those foreign, like, if those people, they are not only bringing shame to their own country, they are actually creating trouble for foreigner. Because the thing is, right, when you like I mentioned, if there is a lot of article keep saying that foreigners steal this or foreigner do that or a lot of bad thing, people will cherry pick or maybe have the wrong impression or bad impression of foreigner people. And obviously, if you come in with the best of everything with respect, obviously they will hold you. You can't blame the Japanese for holding a little bit of war or maybe along the line of like trying to stay away from you, because they are very afraid of this kind of thing to happen to them. And even to me, when I say that, when I move to Japan for the first year, a lot of people have the wrong impression on me. When it's a way, I've said this story a lot of time, and it took me a freaking year to break the ice. It just showed it's enough to show that, hey, I can understand why. And it's really one of the things that sometimes foreign people, those rotten egg one, that is creating this kind of bad impression on us foreigner, that actually kind of made me really wonder, who are to blame? Should we really blame the word foreigner, or should we blame those rotten egg like this that is going around stealing things along the line? I don't know. I mean, like, if you feel like you got anything to say, you can say it along the line. Because the thing, at the end of the day, right, those melon, right, I know some people will say, oh, those melon, it costs you around $4 or $5, it's not that expensive. The thing is, right, what you guys have to understand, those melon in Japanese yen, it will cost around 700 yen. That is only the base price. But what a lot of people doesn't really understand, that those melon actually can cost more than you might think. It can cost you way more than 5 iPhone 15 or 16 that is coming out this year along the line. And when I say that way, it's true, really, really true. So if you guys need to understand that, if there's a Hokkaido melon that can fetch up to 25,000 in auction, it's proof to show that sometimes those melon that they steal may actually cost more than you might think. And obviously, what a lot of people need to understand, why does those melon are considered a premium in a way, is that sometimes the farmer take great length and great care on those melon that make them very, very sweet or make them very, very nice. And obviously, there is a demand for it. And when I say demand from it, obviously when there is little amount of melon in the whole damn world, obviously the price, a lot of people will fight for it. And when there is a demand, it doesn't matter the price. People will, like I mentioned, fight for it, and that alone can prove that the melon can cost a lot. And if you think about it, right, when I say that whether it be like local people stealing it, or maybe like Yakuza stealing it, or Vietnamese people stealing it along the line, right? When you think about the price, let's say like normal price, not just those two melon being sold at 25,000 along the line. When you look at the amount, does it really prove a lot? It's really tell a thing that a lot of people didn't realize, that like I mentioned, when there is a demand from it, it doesn't matter the price. The price will rise up, and it's really rise a lot. Because the thing is, right, let's say for example, if there is supposed to be like 1,000 melon in before they, like let's say before they even steal like 500 of it, let's say there is still like 600 melon in the greenhouse. Some idiot decided to steal 500 of it, leaving only 100 melon. And those 100 melon, because there are a lot of people around the world wanting a taste of that melon, obviously people will bid for it. People will have an auction for it. And when that happens, the price does go up. And again, you have to understand that even if the price doesn't go in the option, right, even if it goes for like normal sales, if the melon was like having like, if the person have 600 melon and he's going to sell them accordingly, maybe he's just going to sell those melon around, let's say 1,000 yen or 2,000 yen along the line. It is going to be very, very cheap. It's not very expensive, because they can, if you consider like the transport, the shipping fee, the transport fee, or the labor fee along the line, it does not mean that it's not going, it really kind of like prove that the price is not that expensive to consider getting it. But because there is very, very little of the melon left, obviously the farmer will try to corporate their loss from the melon stolen. So let's say for example, they could have sold it at 1,000 or 2,000 per melon. Instead, because some idiot decided to go around and steal some melon, obviously the farmer will try to hype up the price and make like cover up their loss. So when that actually happened, it really won't be surprisingly to see the melon being sold at 1,000, like 10,000 per melon along the line, because they want to cover up their loss. And even if they say that there will be insurance along the line, who knows? Insurance may not even want to cover it in the first place. So obviously, if they have the melon, if they still have some melon left and they sell way up in the auction, it won't be surprising if they say the price can hype out to 25,000, because there is so little melon left and people want a taste of it. Obviously, it's gonna be expensive along the line, because there is not much in the whole damn world now. There's only 100 in the whole damn world, and everyone is fighting for it. Does it make sense? No, right? Obviously, it doesn't make sense to me at its point of time. So, if you want the melon to be a cheaper price, obviously we do not want people to steal it. It's just that people who steal it, what they didn't realize is that they are spoiling the market, and that their little folly create a bigger problem for other people in the whole damn world. So, sometimes, I mean, like at this point of time, right, can I really blame them for doing this kind of thing? Like, can we really say that are they truly desperate enough to go and do this kind of thing? Man, I don't know. I mean, like, if you think about the whole story, like, sometimes why do people steal? I know there is a case of people saying that some are innocent, some only do it without knowing it, or some are not sure what their deed is wrong along the line. But one of the stories I do hear is that some people steal because they are desperate for money. considering like if we are talking about Vietnam, where a lot of people are like living a poor life along the line, and all they need to do is just take things without permission and sell the thing away to other people, and they can get the money from it. Easy money, right? Well, the thing is, right, it's really one of the things that sometimes you have to ask, like, why are they desperate for money? Is it really that they are not having a lot of money along the line, or are they just trying to just do whatever they want along the line? Who knows? But sometimes the one thing is that sometimes desperate people will do desperate action, and even if the desperate action is considered a stupid thing, can we really blame them for it? The only thing we can only say is that a crime is still a crime. What they do is wrong, but hey, if they really gonna do it, it's really one of the things. But the one thing I do know very, very sure is that sometimes Japanese people are like, they are trying to battle to protect the premium fruit. It doesn't really mean that, oh hey, there is theft or whatever. It's really kind of like the another type of theft by other country that get things crazier. So apparently there are people from China and South Korea who is able to steal the formula on how to grow those fruit accordingly and trying to sell it away. So technically they are not stealing, they are just technically replicating the formula. It's not unheard of in any other country when they try to recopy like copy another country way of styling of growing a fruit, and it's not uncommon. But it's really kind of like sometimes when they like the China or South Korea, if they sell those grapes, right, and they say from Japan, is it really from Japan? I don't know. But the thing is, right, if they say like sometimes the premium grape, is it really something that is, I mean, like if you think about it, sometimes some of the fruit in Japan, like what make the fruit different from country to country is something like the humidity of the place, the soil of the place, the temperature, the grow, a lot of factors just get into growing. It's not like you just throw a seed into the ground, add some water, and then it grow out a freaking plant, alright? There's a lot of things you have to take care, like you have to put in effort to take care, you have to take care of the bug, you have to remove the bug, you have to remove the weed, you have to ensure the soil is have enough nutrition for the plant to grow along the line, and that is when the labor of the fruit come. At the end of the day, it's really one of the things that sometimes when you look at the whole story, is it really theft along like that? It's just that whether do Japan have the better effort to really protect their own fruit, and sometimes like melon in itself, when it can be easily stolen immediately, like 3 cases this year and over 1,000 melon have been stolen in total. It's just proof to show that hey, it's really insane that people can just go around stealing as if it's normal. But again, we can't, and I will have to say, we can't really say that is it really foreigner doing it. We can't also say that is it really like local people saying it, because the thing is, right, as long as there is no proof, it's really hard to do so. And when there is no proof to do so, like catch a culprit along the line, obviously the demand for the fruit will be there, and obviously the price will hike up. They have to cover the loss. And sometimes when people say like, oh, Japanese fruit are very expensive, sometimes when you look at the like, again, you have to look what caused the price, right? It can, again, I mentioned, back to the farmer trying to cover up their loss along the line, or maybe sometimes just some idiot trying to spoil the market along the line. But who knows? I mean, like, this is just a thing. It's all my speculative thought, just a random chat. But if you do have your own idea, your own view, and your own take, just write in the comment below. We can discuss it further. I know this is a very long video. You guys have to forgive me because sometimes actually more all the time, I think, is that when I do a little bit of research, it's always lead me down a freaking rabbit hole. And I mean, like, the more it's really kind of crazy that there is proof of foreigner people doing the theft, but again, I can't just stop that. If I stop that, it means I'm cherry picking, so I have to look further in, and even to the point of recalling the Yakuza story. So obviously, when I do more research, this is really one of the reasons why I do love doing random chat at times, is that the more I know. But again, do you guys know more or do you guys know less? Write in the comment below if you want to talk about that. But the only thing I would ask you guys that if you guys do like this kind of video, don't forget to press the like button and subscribe for more random chat if you have not. And with that being said, yeah, I think it's more than enough for me. I mean, my throat is starting to get dry, and yeah, sometimes I really wonder like why I always do a long random chat when I want to do everything short. Hard. Anyway, hope you guys have a nice day or night. Bye.